Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.
Today is a very emotional day for me, and I don't know a lot of if a lot of you will get the gravity of the situation. I'm sure someone who has tried to meditate and wanted to grow and on their spiritual journey very bad will get it. But yeah, it's been a while that I felt like I am genuinely taking a step ahead now and I can trust myself with this. 2 साल भी शायद मैं कम ही बोल रही रहूँगी, but yeah, on and off 4 years of this, and it's only now that I feel like I'm on my track and things are working out. And that is totally on me. It's not because I wasn't provided guidance or I did not have the right tools. I did, but oh my God, I did not know how difficult it was going to be to keep fighting with my mind and my body and overcome those barriers. So, yeah. Anyway, did start with my journey probably around 4 years ago. I hadn't started meditating, but I did start reading up about all of these things and got interested into it. धीरे धीरे करके, if you've read, if you've listened to the previous episodes, you would know that I did try many meditation schools before this, and like nothing really stuck with me. And the problem with that is you really want to grow and you're giving your best, and still you feel like it's not the right method for you. Maybe you're doing it wrong. Maybe you're not doing it under the presence of a practitioner, which is why you might not be getting the kind of results they mention on the website, or yeah, the output that you would have imagined. So I would try to do my best on my part and I would follow everything to the T, but it still felt like I was lacking somewhere and I just couldn't find a way out. I just felt like I will keep struggling this way spiritually as well. But one thing that I'm glad is I always kept going. I always was open to the idea that one day it will get better. And I'm not going to give up on my spirituality and be bitter about it and go back to my old ways, because that was the easy thing to do. And but that would also make me a lot more miserable. So I do not want to go down that rabbit hole, because every time I looked back at my previous life, I just felt hopelessness. Hopelessness. Yeah. And if I had to get out of that rut, I knew spirituality was the only thing that was going to help me. Because, as everyone says, you take all your worries to God when nothing works out, when nothing makes sense, and that's where you go. I have felt that and I have seen that working out for me, which is why no matter how many tries it took, I kept going. So I'm happy about that. But oh my God, the amount of back and forth that has gone behind this one day is crazy. So, yeah, just wanted to take you along that journey and share a few bits on my part. This is more of going to be something related to sharing my story. I don't have any tips and tricks. There is a different episode that I have made on how to meditate efficiently, something on those lines. So you can check that out. But इधर मैं बस अपने raw emotions निकालने वाली हूँ about how I've felt the whole time. And yeah, So when I was starting out, of course, I did not have much information and knowledge about things. So I was on this whole marathon of consuming as much as possible. And not because it was the need of the hour or ऐसा करना ज़रूरी है, but because I was genuinely very curious about everything and मैं जो भी पढ़ती थी, जिस भी चीज़ के आस-पास आती थी when it came to spirituality, it really sucked me in. And yeah, naturally things happened where I wanted to know more and learn more and yeah, start में तो काफ़ी महीने मैंने वही किया. After which I was like, okay, this seems legit and let's give it a try. That's when I found Sadhguru's course, did it for a while, then jumped onto another course, then another course. ऐसे मैंने I think 6-7 courses तो किए ही रहेंगे आराम से, yeah. And the thing with courses is you can't do two meditation techniques at the same time. तुम एक टाइम पे एक ही कर सकते हो. तो मैंने ऐसे एक टाइम पे एटलीस्ट 3 महीने दिए हैं एक स्कूल ऑफ थॉट को, देन आई हैव शिफ्टेड टू अनदर एंड देन गिवन इट a good 2 to 3 months and test if it's the one for me, then shifted to another one. तो हाँ, it's been that journey. ऐसे एक टाइम पे तुम 3-4 चीज़ें नहीं कर सकते हो. If you are क्या बोलते हैं, taking up one form of meditation, make sure that you follow that discipline and consistency and listen to only one particular guru or mentor for a couple of months, and don't follow. The biggest mistake is to follow two people at the same time, क्योंकि दोनों की ideologies अलग होगी, दोनों के tools और techniques अलग होंगे, resources अलग होंगे. So you will confuse your own mind with whom to follow and whom to trust. So don't do that. If you are trusting one person, do that for as long as you can. And when you don't see that it's working out for you, even after 3, 4, 5, 6 months, then maybe you can switch to a different one. Don't feel the pressure to keep doing it if it doesn't feel like the right fit for you. And I don't know how to explain that, but somehow you will feel pulled out of the technique if it's not for you. Like, till I found my personal one, I can clearly differentiate between how I felt first time में, first try में. The way I felt was way more different than all the meditation techniques I had tried till that point. So it was a very clear answer to me कि इसके साथ आगे बढ़ना है. Or maybe at least for now, this has given me the most amount of impact than anything else. So yeah, anyway, so there was this whole uh 2-year battle of like, what is my meditation technique and what is it, which guru can I relate the most to, and जिनके शब्दों से I am like able to, whatever they are saying, I am experiencing it in my life, and there is no disconnect between what they say and what I feel. Like, a lot of times when you take up these techniques, you will come across the stuff like what will happen in your life when you follow these techniques. And when that does not happen in your life, or it's just like 5 to 10% of what they mention, then maybe it's not working out. You are going wrong somewhere, or maybe it's just not for you. I don't know uh, the process around it. But मुझे इतना समझ गया है कि जब वो मेंटर के रिजल्ट्स जो वो बोल रहे हैं वो तुम देख पा रहे हो and you are able to feel that in your own life, then things are like working out and you are on the right track. So Paramahansa Yogananda was the only one where I could feel it in the first go, and the things that he had mentioned and written about, I was able to see that coming in my life, like happening, and I could see that in action. So that was a huge relief ki, this is finally the first time where I feel like my results are matching, and what he's saying, I'm able to see it in my life as well. So I've always had that notion ki I will see things for myself, I'll take action, and then we'll see if what they are saying is actually true. And for the most part, they are always saying the truth. It's just that एक मिनट दरवाजे पे कोई है. So sorry for the disturbance. Where was I? Let me go trace back. Yeah, I was saying that the mentors or the gurus that you follow, they are always saying the truth. It's just maybe something or the other is lacking, जिसके वजह से तुम्हें नहीं मिल पा रहे results, या फिर it's getting very difficult for you to follow that technique, or it's just not a right fit. There could be million reasons, but don't feel the pressure to go ahead if it doesn't feel like you are progressing, and you will be able to tell if you are progressing or not. It's just an intuitive feeling. I can't explain it, but you will be able to tell if you're progressing. That's all that I'm going to keep it at. So, yeah, 2 साल वैसे चले गए ट्राइंग आउट ये उसके बाद जो 2 साल थे was once I was introduced to Paramahansa Yogananda. पहले तो again I spent a good amount of time reading his stuff. I started with Autobiography of a Yogi, which is like a very famous book, mostly like an introduction for anyone who wants to get started with Kriya Yoga or just learn about Paramahansa Yogananda's life. It personally wasn't the book that I was completely hooked onto because, as it mentions, it's an autobiography. So it's very long and it details more about his life and everything that he did in a story format. And I'm not the kind of person who wants to know about the story part as much. And I just want to get to the meat. Like, I am that self help wala is the thing ki I just want to learn what is the end goal and what are the things that I have to take away from it. Wala cheez. So I could not stick by Autobiography of a Yogi beyond 5 to 6 chapters. And I was honestly quite sad about the fact that even this might not be my क्या बोलते हैं, guru or the meditation school that I follow. But the site and everything that was related to the course, whatever I read in that aspect was very interesting. I feel if I would have started with a different book by Paramahansa Yogananda, I would have a completely different introduction to him. But maybe because I started with Autobiography of a Yogi, it took a lot more time for me to prime up and become ready to adopt his beliefs and his techniques. So yeah, I was still very interested when I read a few articles, specifically kitna. Anyway, the ones that mention about potential and achieving your highest human potential. So all of us at the end want कि हमारा potential waste ना हो, और this person was talking about how to achieve like the highest of what you were born to do. So that got me very interested. That was the first thing I looked into. And yeah, I think वो एक चीज मेरे दिमाग में बैठ गई थी कि मुझे नहीं मरना ऐसे बिना अपना पोटेंशियल समझे देखे. And that was all that he kept talking about. Like his whole page and article was flooded with your potential, you need to get through it, happiness, and things like that. So that was when I was sold, and I thought, let's go ahead with the course. And oh my god, that's also a year-long journey. Even after I took the course, मुझे लगा चलो अब तो चीजें ठीक हो जाएगी. But it is a very layered course, you guys. For 1 year, at least you need to be consistent with everything that is taught. So you get like these week में नहीं महीने में 2 बार you get the lessons, physical hard copy, and you have to follow it along with like the practical and the theory aspect दोनों तुम्हें साथ में follow करना रहता है. And yeah, life will come in the way. You will find excuses to not go ahead with it. So I recommend going, like starting the whole thing when you have the space, time and space to do it. Because जब मैंने शुरू किया था, all sorts of things were happening and I was desperate. But I did not realize when I did get the lessons, I did not have the bandwidth and discipline to keep going with it for a year. तो मेरा on and off काफ़ी ज़्यादा चला था. And even after I started doing the things that were mentioned in the book and performing the meditations, that was a whole different challenge कि कैसे मैं खुद को प्रिपेयर करूँ एक नई हैबिट के लिए, एक नए मेडिटेशन के लिए, and not fall off the track. And this was also the time when I was going through many new changes. I was just done with the college part, and yeah, I had thought that up to sub freedom and everything, but all sorts of problems kept creeping in, and I was very consumed with thoughts related to career and finding myself. And yeah, I was genuinely very, very lost. And now that I did not have anything else to look up to or something that defines me, it was very difficult for me to deal with my mind. And I know meditation was the one thing I had to nurture even more during that point, but I failed to do it. I, yeah, I should have known better and I should have studied that point better where you are starting a new habit and it's testing you the most, and how your past behavior really comes into play at this point and the way your mind plays with you. So yeah, it was like a concoction of many changes happening at once, and me being consumed by my thoughts way more than I had expected to. So yeah, I also fell short of a routine, a structure, any kind of discipline. So life had just taken a hit altogether. And yeah, it took a while, a long pause before I was able to get consistent again. मतलब मैं करती थी, even then I used to meditate, but it was not like जितना शिद्दत से और अच्छे से I used to do before. I had lost that essence of myself completely. Yeah, I was very, very down during that point. So, yeah, anyway, but again, like every rock bottom moment, there comes a point where you can't take things anymore, and that fuels you. So I know the pain that I was feeling was so much bigger than the pain I would feel by following my new habit. So that kind of helped. And yeah, in my breaking moments, I had to find my anchor. And yeah, I got back to meditating again in the way it was supposed to be done. I'm taking a lot of like breaks in this one because I'm reliving every moment while I'm saying it, and it wasn't an easy one. And yeah, I really can't believe that I am at a place now where I can say that I meditate almost 2 hours a day. I did my morning evening dono wala batch today after a year of being introduced to this meditation. और ये 1 साल में तो as per my course and the pace that it was given in, अब तक तो मुझे this was a year ago I should have achieved this thing, but yeah, I am almost a year late, and it's okay as long as I have found my footing and I have done the thing in the first place. So, yeah, इसके पहले I was doing it regularly at least once a day. दिन में 2 बार मुझसे नहीं हो पा रहा था. A lot of resistance from my mind. But yeah, I have finally like done it twice a day, and I know I'm going to keep going because now I have the momentum and the reasoning is a lot more stronger, and I have like वो जो compound होते हैं efforts, I can see that now. And I know how my brain functions a lot better at this point than I did in the past. So yeah, things are better and it's opening up. I don't know what takeaway you will get from this whole episode. I thought I'll scrap it all together and leave it, but I still wanted to make it because it's not as easy as being introduced to a meditation and your life will change. And when that does not happen, you give up the hope of meditating altogether and starting your spiritual journey. But I want to tell you that it's worth it. It might take time, it might test you. You will go through all sorts of emotions and feelings because this behavior is completely different from your past one. And you have to work on so many minute details and change your thoughts around reality completely. So that is a battle that you will have to face, and the earlier you do it the better. So yeah, just wanted to normalize everything a person who is new to the spiritual path will go through, and to give you the hope that there will be a day when you won't feel as lost and you will find a way out. As cliche as it sounds, you will. And when you do, when you have that day where it feels like I finally belong, I am finally able to take action on the one thing I so wanted to, it will be the most emotional day of your life. Because just imagine, it's the one thing that you wanted is to live up to your potential and find it, and you have been trying all the ways to do it, and still it feels like nothing's really working out. But then there comes a point where everything works out beautifully the way that you wanted to. And then when you see your past self who was so done, who was so hopeless, and who couldn't do a thing right, and then you see yourself now who's full of hope, who's full of joy, who can do everything and more than she imagined, it is bound to make you emotional. So, yeah. Anyway, I think that's all that I wanted to share. And I'll keep updating, of course, how the progress is going, what are the changes that I'm seeing in my life, both spiritually and materially. But yeah, it's a new phase, it's a new me. I can finally say that. And yeah, there has a lot has gone behind this on me trying to shed my negative self. And even though there are shreds that are left, I know I am stronger than that part of me. And I will, if I've done this, I will find a way again back to myself. So, yeah, I'm hoping the same for you, that the healthier version of yourself always wins and you find yourself back to your home, to your soul. And yep, that's it for today. If you made it this far, thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you in the next one.
Free audio post production by alphonic.com.